Morning, everybody. I came to Vernon in '98, working as a postdoc with Dr. Bill Pinchak, animal nutritionist over there. And the first conversations I had with him and with my former resident director, Dr. Robinson, they just wanted me to make the cool season grass growing there. That's what they were interested in. And so I focused most of my career over there in research on cool season grasses. Pretty soon, after 2 or 3 years working over there at the beginning with all these traditionally recommended wheat grasses and some other stuff, I was quite sure that there is no way to go with them. So it happened, mostly by luck, that I got at that time, around 1999-2000, in touch with a company from New Zealand. And we talked about that. It was Agri-Research Grasslands at that time. And we kind of tried to introduce to the United States a little bit different type of cool season grasses. And we tried first studies, you have them on one of the back pages over there, with tall fescue. The tall fescue that we are working on from the Mediterranean area it still belongs to the same genus like the tall fescue grown here in the United States, but despite that it's completely different. The most important about this tall fescue and some other grasses that are also mentioned there, like orchard grasses with the summer dormancy trait, is that they evolved in the Mediterranean area of Europe and Africa in climate that is very harsh. There is 6 months absolutely without no rain in summer at all, and temperatures comparable to Vernon, which is around 104 to 108 degrees over there. And on the other side, over there is a pretty distinguished wet season, or moist season, let we say. It's not really wet over there, but from more or less October until March, end of March, when it rains over there for 6 months. So those grasses evolve that way, that they grow in winter and then get completely dormant in summer. And it doesn't matter if you water them or not in summer, they will stay dormant, dry, and look like dead, but are not dead. The mechanism that, or the environmental factor that regulates the mechanism of summer dormancy is not really very detailed or in detail research, but we suppose that this is soil temperature that regulates when the plant will get dormant and when the plant will break the dormancy in fall. So anyway, we started this research with Agri-Research Grasslands in 2000 on one of the back pages of the report from the station. You can see we have had I didn't put this year yet, but for the last 8 or 9 years, I believe, grassland fletcher survived, produced pretty good, and these are not irrigated plots. The blue bars over there, this was the annual rainfall that we got during these years. So you can see sometimes was okay, sometimes was way below normal. But the grass could still produce and could still survive. There was no way to kill it, no drought to kill it. So based on our data and some other data across the rolling plains and west up to Memphis, Agri-Research Grasslands came with this user guide for Texas and Oklahoma. This is the other publication you have with the Texas map. There are 2 pages over there that are identical, except at the bottom on the left side there are 2 different distributors of this grass for the region over there. One is located in Memphis, in Childress, and the other one in Hillsboro. So anyway, this grass finally was introduced to the United States. People who have this, the person Mike Davidson, who now sells the grass, he was the first one private producer in the rolling plains over there, who planted several hundred acres of this grass about 4 years ago, just to try, and he's very happy with this grass. He never had anything that survived so good, and it's just persistent there. I don't know about other plantings as big as his right now, but this year I already had many calls from people around. One reason producers are switching from wheat to this perennial cool season grasses is that, especially for the last several years, in our area over there in rolling plains, we had not enough rainfall in fall, and the wheat couldn't be established on time, so it resulted in lack of forage over winter, and they just don't want this. So they want to have something permanent that will still produce sometimes whenever the rain comes later in winter, and save the cattle over there. And I think it's a good choice too. Further on this, one of these leaflets I gave you, I listed a little bit what we're doing in Vernon further with this cool season, summer dormant cool season grasses. I went in 2005 to visit my partner, research partner in Israel, and I brought some accessions from over there of tall fescue and orchard grasses, and we decided to, as a Texas AgriLife Research, to start a breeding program on them because they were a little bit different from those fescues that were already on the market, Fletcher and Prosper. The one that I brought was a little bit different, had much more wider leaves, looked like Kentucky 31, but it was very summer dormant. So we started the breeding program in 2005, doing first selections. In New Zealand, they followed the same protocol. They also did the selections over there. And this year we'll start, I will cross the selection, the last selection from Vernon with the last selection from New Zealand in Vernon. We'll cross it and produce the cultivar. That's about the tall fescue. About the orchard grass, I'm quite interested in orchard grass too, as an alternative to tall fescue. Orchard grass will fit a little bit different niche, at least in the rolling plains, than tall fescue will. It can grow on more sandier soils. We have one selection, a wild accession right now, selections from the Negev desert in Israel, of orchard grass that grows in an area that receives only 11 inches of rain per year and grows on total, almost in pure sand. So it's not a very big forage producer, but it will grow in area where nothing else is going to grow. So I'm very interested in this one too. We have other selections of orchard grasses that are much more forage producing plants, so they will probably be similar in production like the summer dormant tall fescue can be. One important point that is also listed over there, we, in the cooperation with the Nobel Foundation from Ardmore, Oklahoma, we're trying to identify legumes that can grow with summer dormant tall fescue, from the simple point of view that we need to reduce the nitrogen input, and legumes will be the good choice. Unfortunately, because of the growth pattern of the fescue, there are not very many legumes that can grow with it. Alfalfa will not grow with. Alfalfa will kill the fescue very quickly. So was not a good choice. We figured that out very early, and we concentrated on annual medics that are very closely related to alfalfa, but they are annuals, and they have growth pattern almost identical with the summer dormant tall fescue. And I think we started with about 600 accessions from all over the world to test them growing with the fescue, let it graze by cattle and see what they prefer, how they can grow with the fescue. So we narrowed this down to around 30, I believe, and I'm pretty sure that in about 1 or 2 years, Nobel Foundation will release the cultivars of the medics that will grow with the fescue. There's also a map over there that Dr. Twain Butler created based on this research. There will be different medics for different parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Not all of them will grow everywhere, so I just put this over there too, which medics will grow where. So this is something that we have done and is working very good. The medics, they are self-reseeding, so once they are there, once you interseed this in the fescue, maybe in the first year you have to be sure that you let them reseed, so you don't graze too much, or don't graze at the time when they need to reseed and bloom and need to reseed. Once they reseed, they will stay there forever in the pasture. Most of the information that is pretty detailed about management of the summer dormant tall fescue is in the user guide. What I would pinpoint, the most important is preparing the field before planting. It has to be as clean as possible. The seedlings, especially of these two cultivars that are right now on the market, Prosper and Fletcher, they are not very competitive at the beginning. So if you have infestation with brome grasses or wild oats or something like that, they may not make it through the first, they may not establish very well. So it's important to have a clean field. Once they are established, there is nothing that can